ragging horror has been reported in Bengaluru's residential school. 8 days after the incident taking place, no action has been taken against the school management so far. A Class 9 American citizen was attacked at a school in Kannada. The education department has yet to take any kind of action against the school. Cops also reportedly delayed to file an FIR. Now an FIR has been registered after the higher officials intervened. Now this is the latest big news we are tracking at the moment with regards to a 15-year-old American citizen who was allegedly ragged by 3 of his classmates at an international school, which is a residential school as well on the outskirts of Bengaluru city. Now this incident took place in the earlier weeks of January. However, no action has been taken so far against the school management. The parents of the victim also alleged that the school management tried to hush up the entire ragging incident by terming it falsely a slip in the bathroom. Now a ragging horror has been reported from Bengaluru city, wherein an reputed international residential school, a 15-year-old boy was assaulted brutally by his peers. There we have the victim's bruises and injuries that were photographed. Now, upon seeing these photographs, the parents immediately took action against the school management as well as a doctor who submitted a false report. Earlier, the school management as well as a doctor is said to have told the parents that the child over there had a slip in the washroom. But when smelling foul play, the parents asked for the photographs. They found out that the boy had indeed received quite brutal injuries to his body over there, and subsequently they have went on to register a complaint against the school management for trying to hush up the ragging incident. Now the parents also allege that the jurisdictional police department also refused to file an FIR earlier when it was brought to the light. The parents of the boy over there also alleged that a few months ago they had already complained with the school management that their ward was being ragged by a few of his classmates. However, no action was taken so far. Now in the latest, the Karnataka State Commission for Protection of Child Rights has taken a suo motu cognizance of the ragging incident that was reported earlier this month. Now a report has also been sought in this regard. Now the incident in question concerns a brutal physical assault meted out to a Class 9 student over there by his fellow classmates. I have on the phone line with me my colleague Prajwal. Prajwal, so far no action has been taken against the school management or even the doctor who gave out a false report with regards to this incident. Now what is the action that the police department can take?
You know, going ahead and looking at this entire case here, Amrita, definitely quite shocking about the details that is coming in, because we are speaking about a 14-year-old minor who has been attacked by his own classmates as well as seniors too. And in this particular case, there were 3 boys who had gone on to attack him, and this incident was reported on the 9th of January. And despite the fact that there has been over 20 days which has already passed by and already 8 days since the FIR has been filed, there has been no sort of action that has been taken from the school management apart from going ahead and expelling these boys who were involved in this atrocity against their own fellow classmate over here. And this case has already been brought before the juvenile court also. And one more important thing that we should notice over here is the fact that there has been several sections in the law which has been excluded in this entire case. And now the boy's father, the victim's father, is going on and alleging the fact that several of these sections has been taken away, and the school authorities are going on to try and hush up this entire case over here. And the persons in questions over here is the accused number 1 now, Mr. Chandra Jain, who is the chairman of the Jain group of institutions. And this particular incident had come to light from the Jain International Residential School on Kanakpura Road in Ramnagar district too. So therefore, once this particular complaint was registered, it took 48 hours for the cops to go ahead and register the complaint, despite the fact that they had ample proof and evidence that the boy had been beaten up brutally and there were multiple bruises. There there were bruises to his head. There is a laceration on his head which has been cut off. A part of his head where his hair was supposed to be, there is a deep gash and a wound on it, and there are also injuries to his chest as well as his shoulders and his L1 and L2, meaning to say that the spinal cord, which we are seeing on the left of our screens too, he's gone ahead and suffered severe injuries. And when the boy's father tried to go on and contact the boy, he wanted to go on and speak to the boy, the management allegedly refused to give permission, or else even tried to get in contact with the parents too, and the parents were informed only a day later after the boy had gone through this mental trauma. So narrating the entire series of incidents, this school had declared holidays for Christmas, and as soon as Christmas got over, on the 9th of January, the school reopened, and as soon as the school reopened, the boy was dropped off at his school, and at 8:30 he had gone to the canteen to have his lunch, and as soon as he finished his lunch and returned back to his dormitory, it is called as the Chanakya dormitory, and he returned back to it somewhere between 8:45 to 8:50 in the night on the 9th of January. He later went inside, and over there were three boys who beat him up, and initially after beating him up in the dormitory for around half an hour till 9:15 to 9:20, as soon as they got to know that some of the teachers will be there on the night rounds, they have immediately gone ahead and dragged the boy, and again they have pummeled him for over half an hour inside the restroom. So they have dragged the boy all the way from the dormitory, and they have taken him to the restroom, and there they have punched him, they have beaten him up black and blue, and later they have also warned him of dire consequences and threats, stating that if he would go on and complain to either the authorities, the school management, or his parents, then he would be beaten up again. And all this ragging incident just took for one important thing, that is that these boys had demanded this particular victim to go on and bring them goodies from his house, which he had refused to. He had also tried not to give in to their demands too, and there has been several such previous incidents too which had been reported by the boy to his parents too, and the parents had gone ahead and clearly complained to the school management, stating that their boy was being harassed. But despite that fact, there was no sort of action that was taken by the school authorities against these boys too, or neither was a warning given to them, and therefore the boys being carried away this time involved in a lethal assault against this particular victim over here. Now information is also coming in that the parents of this particular boy were made to wait for an agonizing 10 hours in the Harohalli police station. I repeat, an agonizing 10 hours over here, and they were made to wait from morning 10 till night 8 o'clock, and later after the boy's father, the victim's father, had written the same complaint copy for over 25 times, they somehow accepted it. But despite the fact that the complaint was lodged on the 23rd itself, there was no FIR filed till the 25th, and only after that an FIR was filed. And allegedly the cop has also asked the boy's father to settle this matter out of the police station jurisdiction, because the boy's father is claiming strongly that Chandra Jain, who is the chairman of the Jain group of institutions, has gone ahead and tried to hush up this entire case over here. So if this can happen to somebody who is as influential as this boy, because let me tell you about the credentials as well as the background of this particular boy. He's an American citizen, meaning to say that he has been born and brought up in America for a few years before he was brought to India, and later once the US consulate was gone ahead and informed of this, and there was pressure on the higher authorities to intervene, only then did they go ahead and intervene, and until then there was no sort of intervention. And after that an FIR was registered, and later when the SP of Ramnagar, Anup Shetty, was contacted, he also made sure that the authorities would be taking in action. But thanks to our higher authorities over here, including Mr. Uma Shankar, who is the principal secretary, he also informed and asked the deputy director of public instruction to take some sort of action, and until then even the DDPI did not take any sort of action. And the sort of injuries that the boy has, you can right now see on the center of our screens that this particular medical report of the boy will show the sort of trauma that he's gone. Let alone forget the physical trauma over here, Amrita, it is also the mental trauma which will have to be brought in over here, because the boy has suffered immensely and severely, and he was not even let to speak to his parents, and right now he's in a state of shock. He's broken down completely. He's not able to walk to, he's not able to get up from his bed, and therefore the nature of his injuries are very serious. But at the same time, the mental trauma that the boy has undergone, this is absolutely, this is absolutely shameful that an institution on the outskirts of Bengaluru itself, an incident has been reported. So why we are bringing this is, despite the fact that there has been 8 days since the FIR has been filed, there has been no sort of action that has been taken against the school management, and the investigation is going at a snail's pace.
Thank you, Prajwal, for that insight. Now, over there, this kind of incident does shed light on the security situation of students there. More than 800 students studying at the residential school. Now, with that, my colleague Prajwal also spoke with the victim's father over there, Mr. Botra. Let us listen in.
Today, shocking news, a disappointing news is in fact come to light over here, and it is understood that the city is one of the most prominent institutions. The Jain International Residential School has reported a case of assault on a 14-year-old child. We have the father of the child himself with us, Mr. Kunal. You know, Mr. Kunal, first and foremost, it is definitely quite shocking, the sort of information that is coming in, the details as well. What do you want to say about this entire assault case, and what exactly happened to your child?
Before I narrate what has happened to my child, I request the entire nation that ragging is a criminal offense where it could go extend where a person can die, a child can die. Those 800 kids who are still studying in Jain International Residential School in Kanakpura, Bangalore, their life is on compromise. Through the channel, I want to let every parent knows whose son or daughter is studying over there. Please go and check it out and find what's going on, because I learned on 23rd January while talking to a number of kids over there that their life is on compromise. They have been brutally ragging, assaulted over there, and they're so scared that they don't speak up. One of the incident happened to my son on January 9th at around 9:15 p.m. inside the campus when he had dinner and came back to his room. 3 kids from the Jain International Residential School went inside to his room, closed the door, and kept punching and hitting him for almost 20 to 30 minutes, where he was crying and he was brutally assaulted. Then those 3 kids learned or thought that the teacher from the dome may be coming, and they dragged my son, who was asking for mercy, and took them inside the bathroom of that dome and kept hitting him for another half an hour, to the extent where he could have died, and his head was being bashed in the to one of the glass which was in the toilet, and he was bleeding completely. After that, those 3 kids warned him that if you tell the parents or the teacher, we'll come back again. This is not the first time my son was being ragged in that school. There were 2 or 3 times before. We have complained to the committee, we have met CEO, and there is no action has been taken against any of the kids. The ragging is a normal practice in Jain International Residential School, and we have learned after what happened to my son that there is no safety and security for the child. He couldn't sleep the whole night on January 9th when the incident happened. He was crying, he was bleeding. Next morning, he went to the hospital, showed to Dr. Nitesh, which is the in-house hospital, and he was not being examined properly. He just put him inside the hospital for 3 days on a painkiller.
You know, why do you say that he was not examined properly? Because usually when the doctor notices such bruises, even if you sustain a bruise from a fall, it will either be a single bruise, but your entire body being bruised, that was something which should have been very doubtful. Were you informed? Did the doctor call you, or what necessary steps was made to make sure that they would go across and put the message to you?
Yes, first of all, that if you fall in anywhere, as 1 or 2 part will be affected. But if you are from head to your back to your chest, if it is entire body which has been affected and a lot of bruises are there and he's bleeding, so doctor probably must have come to know immediately this is a ragging case, and they're trying to hash up the case because the name may go to the media, or you know, the parents will go against the school, because ragging is a criminal offense. Why I was not being informed immediately as a parent that my son has been hospitalized and there are number of bruises which is there, and it is something which is serious. Why? It is a question to the school, to the committee, to the doctor, to the chairman. Why they were hiding the fact? And when we learned, when we came to know, and we came on 11th January, we approached Harioli police station. We took 3 constables from there. They took the video took the statement of those 3 kids and the victim, my son. My son was not in a position, he was in hospitalized for almost 2-3 days, and the situation was so critical that the first thing we thought to give him the medical help. We took him to Bombay. He's still suffering severely from L4, L5 back, where the hairline fracture is there. Mentally, superly assaulted, where he's afraid even to talk about the incident or going back to the school over there. We came back on 23rd of January, approached Harioli police station 10 a.m. in the morning, me, my wife and the kid, to file an FIR against the school, the management, the chairman and those 3 kids. From morning 10 o'clock till evening 8 o'clock, we were sitting and making, at least they made us wait for 10 hours and making 25 FIRs. Every time they used to tear the paper, make another one, the grammatical mistake. And 8 o'clock in the evening, they're telling me that we cannot file an FIR against the Jain International School or the chairman because he's a very influential person, and we got a call from someone up that there's nothing we can do about the school.
Are you saying that the cops actually came, stopped you in between and stated this, saying that we will not be able to file an FIR because the person he has a lot of clout and he will be able to stop you, and there will be no action that can be taken against him because he's an influential person? And who is this influential person?
His name is Chinraj Jain, who's the chairman of Jain International Residential School. And absolutely the fact which I'm talking about, on 23rd, they refused, made me sit for 10 hours and refused to take an FIR. And they told me that what we can do, that we can just take a complaint against those 3 kids and call them up for the warning and leave them. That's about it. I said, at least take that. And 24th of January, then we approached IGP officer, Mr. S. Chandra, who's in Miller Road, Bangalore. So he helped me out to send me to SP Ramnagar police station, Mr. Anup Shetty. And on 25th of January, the FIR was being filed against the school chairman and the doctor. Till today, 2nd February, they're saying the investigation is still going on. There is nothing happening over there. All the accused and everybody is just roaming. Who is suffering is me, my child, and my entire family. We want justice. This should be a full stop and not a comma, where tomorrow anybody is suffering from a ragging, they should speak up, they should talk about it, their life could be saved. I request every child, every parents to please talk, and I humbly request to the education department that this chairman is playing with those 800 children who are studying over there. Their safety and security is on big compromise, including my son when he was there. I request humbly to the education department, to the chief minister, to every department to please cancel his license, and the justice should be there, and the legal action should be taken against the school and the chairman.